2001 Honda Civic with just over 214,000 kilometers on it. And customer complaint was a burning smell. So you can see all the CV axle grease flinged everywhere. But one thing I noticed is that looks like a new axle seal. So usually the inner axle boots don't, or CV axle boots don't leak. But just one thing to note, so it looks like somebody's replaced it. Probably also torn that boot. And as you can see, that burning smell, all that axle grease, CV axle grease is burning on the exhaust. So that's what that burning smell is. And I took it out of the bench, took it apart. So I offered to reboot the CV axle, and just inspecting it, they all look good. You know, just need your clip, snap ring pliers to get this clip off at the end here, right? Get yourselves a bronze punch or brass punch to get that thing off. And yeah. So while I wait for that boot kit to come in, I also recommended a timing belt, because, you know, with a car with over 200,000 kilometers and it's, you know, no history on it, usually around that time the belt starts breaking apart, and yeah, you lose your timing belt. So I usually recommend that. There's also this cam plug that always leaks, and maybe you might have noticed that there's a little bit of a drippy drip right here. And yeah, I think yeah, so the customer agreed with what I recommended, and yeah, went ahead and said and go ahead to do the timing belt. So yeah, here's your cam plug where your distributor used to be, and they like to leak oil, and it pulls up there and it makes its way down to you know, where I showed you where they were dripping. So all it is you get a little pocket screwdriver and you pop it out, and that's usually where they leak from. Alright, so I pulled off the old cam plug where the distributor used to be. Looks like someone tried to seal it before, but all it is that O-ring in there is completely flat, and the new one has a new O-ring, you know. And yeah, new CV boot just came in, and I'm gonna reboot that. And what else? Oh, I changed the timing belt already. It doesn't look too bad for 200,000. Might have replaced it at some point, but you know, no history, no sticker on the underneath the hood. Over 200,000 kilometers. I usually just recommend it. All right, boot came in, but it's not the right one. See how that's round, and this one has yeah, you see what I mean. Finally got the correct boot. This is what it's supposed to be like, because there are these grooves to go onto the inner CV. So yeah, but still comes with these kind of clamps. I prefer the clamp, like the crimp-on ones. Put the CV axle back together, make sure it moves all nicely. Put the clamps on. Like, I really do not like these clamps because it always feels like you never get them tight enough. But you know, you just yank as hard as you can, fold it over, peen it down, and then yeah, just you hope for the best. But I prefer the crimp style bands for these CV boots. Alright, so before I put the new axle in, I made sure I clean off all the grease that was flung around, also all that oil residue. And it looks like somebody changed the oil pan gasket, because there was silicone in the front where the crank is. So yeah, now I'm going to put that new, well, not new CV axle, but the CV axle I rebooted back in.